Hi everyone, Happy New Year from Afters with Joe and Chelsea.
We hope you've all had a fab Christmas.
We are about to finish off the mental health topic that we've been covering for the last few episodes. I think it's a very prevalent or relevant topic to be covering at this time of year, especially from the highs of Christmas, the build up to it, and obviously New Year's Eve last night, to now come into the January blues. So it's quite a good topic to.
And I think probably everyone can relate to that lull that they feel after the high of the Christmas festivities.
Yeah, especially in the UK when the weather's not so good,
Dark.
temperatures are cold, it's dark.
Yeah.
You've not got anything to look forward to unless it's my birthday.
Your 30th.
I'm the big 3-0.
Finally, it's happening.
Waiting for the presents to roll in. No, age is just a number. You do not need to live by the number. Just in your head. It's just a number.
It is.
It is. Anyway, let's get started. So we are finishing off mental health today. We are looking at what you can do to help your mental health, what we have kind of been through, what helps us to cope with struggles and difficulties with our mental health. We've got a concept that we've kind of created ourselves called the Pillars of Life that can maybe help some people out there. And yeah, just where you can turn to, you can speak to if you are struggling, and kind of just getting out there that everyone does suffer and you're not alone. People do suffer every day, and obviously some people do struggle with their mental health a lot more than other people, but hopefully we can kind of show people why that might be and what you can do to combat that.
Yeah, and I just think maybe keep the communication going with family and friends throughout January.
Yeah.
So that you're not on your own or getting tied in or stressed at work and going from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, January is like that, isn't it? Because you've probably met up with family members that you've not seen for a long time, met with friends. It's always been in the past with alcohol, so it's very alcohol fueled. You've got like very big highs of going out and overindulging, and it all adds up and really hits you hard, doesn't it? In January, when you're back to the mundane work life, kind of looking to hope and see what you've got to look forward to next.
Yeah, that's summer holiday usually.
Normally it's summer holiday, yeah. Unless you live in the Middle East. Shout out to all the Dubaians out there.
Who go to all these extravagant places in their half terms.
Yeah, we took the risk, just saying. No. So what you can be doing, so we've created this concept over the last 2 years called the Pillars of Life. So mine is slightly different to yours, but I think they're relatively the same.
Yeah.
I think these 5 things are the pillars in which we abide by, and you can kind of measure how your mental health is and your over physical health actually by these 5 things. So the 5 things I've got is sleep being number 1, 2nd, nutrition, 3rd, exercise, 4th, I've labelled it as connections, but that's kind of like relationships and friendships, and then 5th is labelled as purpose. But that's quite a broad term, so we'll go into more detail.
I feel like I would add one onto there for you.
You can't have 6.
No, I know, but you quite like to learn things, like listening to podcasts or reading books, like stretching your mind. And I feel like you suffer a little bit if you've not listened to a podcast or read a book recently.
Okay, yeah. So
could
that be? No, I agree. Could that come under purpose for my topic?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you want me to.
But no, I agree.
Purpose and knowledge.
Yeah. Purpose and learning. Yeah. Purpose and growing. Yeah. I agree. So I'm going to go through each of them, and then you can have things in about what.
Yeah, and I think I'm just going to add a little bit in here. I suppose where this has come from, as well as things that we've read and listened to. I think we first initially heard it somewhere, didn't we, on a podcast. But these are things that we have noticed set us up for a good day or a good week.
Yeah.
And these are things that when we don't do them, we notice a dip in our mood, our productivity, and then the other kind of pillars start to tumble a little bit.
Yeah.
So these will be different for everybody, which I think is kind of the beauty of having, you know, these kind of life pillars, because you can decide what they are.
Yeah.
I've got friends that really need that morning routine, you know, to the point where they even have their morning routine space in their apartment that is specifically for their morning routine. And for them, that would be a life pillar. So when they don't do that, whatever that morning routine is, they feel like their day is not as productive, or they don't feel as good as they usually do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to add a bit of.
No, yeah. I was going to go into detail about why we've called it that. Obviously, the pillars are kind of like, if you look at it from an image point of view or analogy, it's like the pillars of your life that keep you upright and keep you going in place. When you start to take away certain pillars, you start to go off balance, you start to lose structure, and then when too many go at once, you will topple over, and that's the kind of analogy of you struggling really badly or struggling with your mental health. But like Charles said there, everyone's different. Like everyone, like even me and you, like we're different. Like I can't go a day without coming out the apartment without my mental health feeling affected by it, whereas you can go a day or two without even stepping outside.
No, I think with that, you're right. I would happily stay inside all day if I had no reason to go outside.
COVID, nightmare. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah, but I think that's kind of a bit of a double-edged sword, because from someone who suffers, I'd say, you know, quite frequently with, you know, not feeling very motivated or very happy, or, you know, and anxious, not going out of the house is great for me, because it means I can stay in my comfort zone and I don't have to worry about, you know, what's outside of the door. But on the flip side to that, by doing that, I get myself into more of a state where I am getting more and more down, and then I'm struggling to, you know, even, you know, have a shower or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, like by the end of this podcast, I want people to kind of ask the question to themselves: what are the things that you need in your life for you to be in a mental state of happiness, content.
So some examples, what are yours?
So like I said, it's sleep, it's nutrition, it's exercise, it's connections, it's purpose. So I'll go through each one.
Okay, yeah.
So sleep, as we've covered in previous podcasts, is the foundation of all life. If you're not getting the right sleep, it affects every single part of your life. So we've made a real conscious effort over the last 2 years to make sure our sleep's on point, temperature controlled, nighttime routine, hygiene, etc., etc.
And I can confirm, I now have a watch.
She has got a watch, yeah?
That tracks my sleep, which I've never had before.
Absolute nightmare. Don't buy a sleep watch or fitness watch for hypochondriacs.
I'm obsessed a little bit at the moment about my heart.
Yeah, not good. It's causing more hassle than it's worth.
But great sleep.
Yeah, attractive sleep is good way to kind of keep looking at it and seeing what's working, what isn't. Obviously, you can have like a measurement to kind of correlate against what you're feeling as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because it's something interesting that I've recently discovered, obviously with the watch. I may feel like I've had a rubbish night's sleep because I've been woken up quite a few times, but because I'm consistently getting at the very minimum 8 hours since I've had it. That app's like, you're doing great. I'm thinking, I don't feel great.
Yeah.
I get woken up by one more smell coming out the aircon.
Yeah, no, it's massive. I think out of every pillar that I've got in my life that I've assigned to a pillar, if that one goes, the rest go.
Yeah, and
it
I think
affects everything else. Like,
we've probably lied a little bit there, haven't we? Because maybe everybody should have sleep as one of their pillars.
yeah, like from a physiological point of view,
Yeah.
like the science is there. You have to sleep, otherwise you're not going to live a long life. You're not going to have good longevity, etc. But so many of you have probably been there. You've had a rubbish night's sleep. Your mood changes, so then you don't want to exercise. You crave like bad food. You're moody, so your connections with people aren't as great. Like you snap at your partner, you snap at people at work,
Stay
and
inside.
then you're like, well, what's the point? There's no purpose of going to work. There's no point in trying. It's all because of your night's sleep. So I feel like that's huge, absolutely huge. Second one, nutrition. For me, as we're about to cover in the next topic, we're going to move on to nutrition after our mental health episodes. It again affects your mental health so much. If you're eating the right things, you're getting the right nutrients for your body, for your gut, your mood changes, your outlook on life changes.
Yeah.
You feel clean, healthy. You have more aspirational ideas. You're creative. That's just from a personal point of view. As soon as you start going down the slippery slope of, I'll just have that croissant that someone's brought in to Stafford, everyone else is eating it, so I'm going to eat it. That then goes into, on the way home, I fancy something from the garage. Get home, I give you the eyes.
Are you
Do you
speaking
want to,
from experience here?
Do you want to cook, or should we get takeaway? Everyone's been there.
Or
do you want takeaway? Or do you want takeaway?
You want to go to fitness?
And it just snowballs, doesn't it? And that again will just affect, like, well, if I'm eating rubbish, then I don't really need to go to the gym because there's no point. If I'm eating rubbish, then I don't really need to spend that extra 2 hours on the weekends looking at my next business adventure because I'm just in such a lull of, like, you start getting annoyed at yourself because you've eaten badly. You start telling yourself a story that you are a rubbish person because you can't sustain a diet.
Yeah, I think everybody's
like all this stuff just from the food you put in your body.
Yeah.
I'm not going to touch too much on alcohol because that would be a topic we cover in the new year, but that again can have a massive impact on your mental health as well. My third one is exercise. It's something that I've struggled to kind of understand over the last 6 months or so is that exercise doesn't really lose you weight. It's the nutrition that you're putting in your body that will actually lose your weight. What doing exercise will do is define your muscles.
Longevity.
It will mean you live a healthy, happier life, especially when you get past 60, 70 years old. And
you're going to be reliant on muscles when you're 70, 80, 90 years old and you need to get up from a chair or you need to go up and down stairs.
Yeah, and then from a mental point of view, it's such a good mental pill of medicine. Like the amount of benefits it's got for your mental state of mind.
Yeah. Just
achieving something, going through struggle, overcoming something, taking your mind off that stress at work, even being social through exercise. There's just so many benefits to it.
Definitely.
If I don't exercise for, I'd say, how long do I last? 3 days maybe? And I've not done a specific planned piece of exercise, whether it be a run, whether it be a gym session, whether it be a swim, whether it be a walk. Even being a PE teacher, I get grouchy. I'm just not myself, am I?
No.
I'm just snappy. I'm just like, I don't really want to be in my own skin because I'm like, what
What's
am I doing?
What's that advert where it's like, you're not
have
yourself.
a break, have a Kit Kat.
No, you're not yourself. Mr. T.
Oh, Snickers.
Snickers.
Not you really hungry.
You know,
You're not you really not exercised. So yeah, that's me. But then again, like so many people, that isn't their pillar. That isn't their priority. People that aren't sport, exercise driven in their life can be happy enough without doing it, which is your choice.
yeah.
But
I still think one of your life pillars needs to be getting outdoors, whatever that is, whether it's
sunlight,
a
fresh air.
walk.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have dogs, so making sure they're out on a dog walk.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it? When we first started, like reading books and podcasts, it was like, oh wow, all this new knowledge, all these different ideas to help you grow as a person. And I've seen now on the other side of that, and I'm seeing other people that are about to start their journey of that. But people trying to prescribe things like exercise to people and forcing it down their throats does not work.
No.
And that's where a lot of these things are going wrong, because I've now seen it when there's someone on my table at work that doesn't care about doing their exercise in the morning. They don't care about going home and exercising. They've got different priorities in their life. And there's someone trying to sell them, well, if you get up at 6 a.m. every day and do your exercise before work, you'll feel great. Well, that doesn't work for everyone. So you've just got to find what works for you. But I agree, to an extent, every single person has to be doing some form of exercise. Otherwise, you'll go down the route of sedentary diseases, of diabetes, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Fourth one is connections, relationships. I think this is massive as well. If you're lucky enough to have a good family, big family, good group of friends, social group, when you start to have some of those relationships affected, whether it be through anger or animosity, or there's just not a lost kind of connection there, it does affect you mentally. You start to question the amount of mental energy you spend thinking about it. What are they thinking of me? What have I said? What's wrong? What's all these anxieties build? And if you've not got that sorted, and that's kind of going skew in your life, it affects you massively from a mental point of view.
I think that's quite hard when there isn't relationships, because relationships take two sides.
They do, yeah.
To work.
With this as well, the connections part of it, because we've moved to the Middle East, we have to maybe make more of an effort than we would have done in the UK, because we live where there's a 4-hour time difference. When we were in Qatar, it was a different weekend, so we'd have to actively plan out when to speak to people. If you do not make the effort, then I feel, as one of my pillars, I have something missing in my life. And mentally, I'm like, well, my nutrition's all right, I feel good, I'm sleeping okay, I'm exercising, but I feel a little bit lonely, or I feel a bit lost, because I'm not connecting with the people in my life who give me enjoyment or purpose or meaning, whether it be family, whether it be friends. Obviously, when me and you have a row or a disagreement, mentally that can be tough as well. Like energy goes until it's resolved. I feel like I'm on edge all the time anyway. A lot of men out there probably feel the pain of just being in the unknown and not having it solved, and then someone's being more stubborn than the other one, and it goes on and on and on. The amount of energy wasted that could have just been sorted. But I think that can have a big impact on your mental health as well. And then finally, this is labelled as purpose, as my last pillar of life. This purpose can come under your hobbies, your interests, but it can also come under your job or your career. What you do in your life that gives it purpose and meaning. So for me, being a PE teacher, I feel like I've got a very purposeful job of providing education for the younger generation. Sounds posh, doesn't it? All I'm doing is just kicking the ball around the field and making some arm actions for swimming. But no, that every day I wake up, it's completely different. It's never the same. Just the amount of feedback you get from that job, it's amazing. It's very sociable, a lot of purpose. And then from a personal point of view, doing this podcast has given us a lot of purpose over the last couple of months.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of meaning. Like we're not getting paid for this. We're not kind of.
Well, it's giving you purpose. I'm not spending hours.
Yeah. No, come on. Yeah, shout out to Charles. She's the guru, the editor guru. But no, like just we're doing things that we want to do. We are lucky enough to have no commitments at this current time, but at the same time we do make time for it. We could just be sat down watching Netflix. We could be going to the pool, but we are here filming this because we want to make a difference to specific people's lives. So any purpose like that, and then going back to what you said before, like the learning and growing part, I think that comes under purpose, because when I'm learning about a new idea that I've come up with, for example, I had an idea of creating a new energy drink in Qatar, and for like 2 or 3 weeks I was fully glued on the idea that it was going to become a thing. And that purpose I got from that, just researching where the nearest lab was to get a drink tested, researching what ingredients must go into it to make an isotonic drink, or whatever it is, that gives you so much purpose. Reading a book, listening to a podcast, you are actively putting your time into something, being present in that moment.
Kind of links a little bit to flow state, that as well, doesn't it? When you're doing something that you find purpose in, just kind of losing the time.
Yeah, just having the awareness of what that is. And I think one thing that we need to be careful of is telling young people and even older people to find their purpose in life. It's a very difficult
it's very broad,
thing to say to someone, because
especially if they're struggling mentally anyway.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone truly knows what their purpose is. No. Right? It's quite a deep question to have. And then that can have almost an adverse effect on your mental health. It could go the other way. It could be negative, because then you start worrying, oh, I've not been successful, I've not got the car, I've not got this amount of money in the bank, so I don't know what my purpose is. So I think all those 5 things for me are really important to my mental health. And like I said, if one of those goes off, apart from sleep, I can deal with it. Maybe 2. As soon as 3 go, then my mental health takes a real dive, and it's I need to reflect and regroup. Okay,
so there you go. What do you do to build yourself back up? Do you allow yourself time and forgiveness for them going?
Yeah, you've got to. You've got to give time to forgive yourself. If you don't, you just stay in that negative spiral. Just doing one part of those pillars, the smallest amount, makes so much difference. I think I went through a phase in Qatar of not going to the gym in weeks, and I'd even say to you, look, I've not been to the gym for like 7 days now, and you're like, oh, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. And obviously I'm like, it's the end of the world. I literally went to the gym to do 10 minutes of stretching just to get in the gym. Just to get over that ridiculous barrier wall that I put up in my head. Well, I can't go to the gym because I'm so far behind. I've lost so much strength. I've lost all my gains I've made. I'm going to look stupid. All these voices going through your head. Just getting through that gym door is you winning.
Yeah.
Just getting that first step in there, filling your water bottle up. Okay, I'm in it now. Let's see what I can do.
Yeah.
Go and sit down on the bike, warm up the legs. Go to stretch. I could have stayed there longer, but I was like, look, okay, I've done it now. I then start to build up that resilience of going back again. And it's the same with anything. Like, you've just got to start doing it.
I think my depression, my lowness is a little bit more extreme than yours.
Yeah, definitely.
And for me personally, I will, if it's really bad, I'm going through a really bad time, I'll give myself a week to just let myself, you know, be in my dressing gown. Don't worry about having a shower and, you know, just be. And then after that week is when I will start doing a list. So, you know, usually my list will consist of things like doing stuff around the house, maybe a bit of exercise, any wallflower stuff I've got to do, any editing of audios. But when I'm in a really bad place and I'm trying to get myself back, you know, rebuilding pillars, my list may consist of having a shower and making the bed. And I'm sure there'll be people that will be able to relate to that.
Yeah.
And that is okay because everybody falls, everybody feels flat. And some people really do struggle mentally. And I think it's okay to allow yourself, you know, they say now that depression can be genetic, can be passed down. And I think also with, you know, ultra processed foods, I think for females with, you know, their menstrual cycles, there's just so much going on that can affect you mentally. I think it's okay just to allow yourself to not be okay.
Yeah.
As long as that doesn't spiral. And knowing when to ask for help.
Yeah. We're very lucky, aren't we? We have each other. We live with someone else. There are some people out there that don't have someone who can kind of read the signs of you struggling mentally. But from your experience, what's the best thing people can do to help you? So when you get into those states of lowness and being kind of negative and depression creeps in, if you're in a job or you have people around you either by message or whatever, what do you find helps that other people can do for you? Is there anything, or is it more you just have to do what you have to do?
I think it's hard because I'm quite an introvert anyway, and I think I've always, you know, kind of dealt with things myself.
Right.
And, you know, that's something that therapy has really helped with, being able to open up more and let people in, and not just, you know, fix everything myself, which again I think links to this world where the emphasis is put on you. But what you said before, you know, asking that question for a second time, are you okay, or how are you feeling? It does, like, well, I say a second time, you probably have to ask me like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
But when you
Break down the Great Wall of China, isn't it?
But I think when you know someone and when you love someone and you're close to somebody, you know when there's something that needs to come out that they're not.
Yeah.
And sometimes it may not be anything that they can describe. Like sometimes my frustration is you wanting to know what's wrong and I don't have the answer because I just don't know. And that's been something that we've worked on, because I'm not always going to have the answer to the way that I'm feeling, but you being there and giving me support, giving me a hug, or, you know, holding me until I cry and I've let it all out, and then I may talk a little bit, helps to support, you know, the place that I'm in. And I think there is real strength in somebody just being there for you, even if they're just there silently.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of emphasis these days on fixing the problem. It's okay, just do this and you'll be fine. Or, you know, tell me what's wrong, what's happened. Sometimes people just need you to be there. You know, they just need to cry, or they just need a hug, or they just need you to sit there silently with them. And I think maybe just showing a little bit more compassion to the people in your life, not what you want them to do or say or be in that moment.
No, it's good to hear that, because I think everyone knows someone who goes through bouts of depression and loneliness in their life, and sometimes it can be quite daunting and overwhelming. Of, oh my God, I've got a friend who's said they're feeling really low. Now I feel like I'm obliged to like help them and fix them, and in reality, you can't. You can't fix them. It's not a broken bone. It's a lot more complex than that. And I think what you said there, you've just got to be there for them.
Yeah.
Check in. Don't be too burdening with messages. Just be there. Ask if they need anything. And just be there for them.
Yeah.
And you just being there for them and sending that message, talking to them on the phone, going around to see them, just being there for them can have a massive impact.
Definitely.
And be a change for the better. But it's a tough one, mental health, because we've obviously spoken about our own experiences. Everyone has got their own experiences. Everyone's different. It's such a complex thing, mental health, that we kind of need to be careful of prescribing what people should do.
Yeah, I just think, try, if you're trying to help somebody, try just putting yourself in their shoes rather than, I think that's a huge thing actually, and it's been for our relationship, outside of mental health as well. Just being able to do something because somebody else needs that, not because, that's what you need from the interaction, that's what you need them to say, or that's the validation that you need, or you need to be wanted, or whatever. Just putting yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of being there and doing what they need from you, rather than what you need.
Yeah, showing empathy, showing compassion.
Communication, there's no harm in, even if sometimes a communication between me and you, do you want to talk about it? No. No. I'm not ready to talk about it yet because I've not processed it myself. And that, I think, is so powerful because you're then able to give that person the space that they need.
Yeah.
Communication is huge, but also communicating that you're not ready to talk is also really powerful.
Yeah, it settles the other person, doesn't it? What I was going to say is if we are now talking about mental health from the point of view of just finishing Christmas, the highs and the buzz of the Christmas festive period, the New Year's Eve, there's probably going to be some hungover people listening to this today.
Maybe doing dry Jan.
Dry Jan, the classic. What can people do now that is going to have a big impact, a big positive impact on the mental health as we go through the month of January?
Get yourself somewhere warm.
Get yourself somewhere warm. No, but like it's scientifically proven, isn't it? When you book a holiday,
Yes, when you say your mum likes to book her holiday in January, so she's got something to look forward to.
It kind of gets you on that road of, oh, well, I've got something to look forward to.
Yeah.
A big impact.
I think, from experience, when we used to be in the UK, there's such a buzz around Christmas, and then January comes and you go back to work. And I don't know about you, but I don't really feel like I spoke to many people in January because it's such a, what's the word? Such a sociable time. Everybody kind of goes back into their
holes,
everyday life again.
Routine.
So
they're also skin as well, aren't they?
Skin, but that doesn't mean that you can't pick up the phone or FaceTime somebody. I think maybe call or a FaceTime or a message to family or a friend once a week in January would help with that feeling of loneliness after the big Christmas break.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always the a January rush in gyms, isn't there? From a fitness point of view, there's always the diet changes because of the overindulging. Something that I saw on LinkedIn yesterday from, not yesterday, sorry, back in um, December was he talks about why there's such an emphasis on people trying to sort out or fix their body in January when they've kind of boozed and they've overindulged and they've done loads of late nights. He said, why don't we start that in early December? So then when you get to January, you're in such a better place physically, mentally, so that when those January blues do come, you are in a better place. He's saying you don't have to sacrifice going out, you don't have to sacrifice necessarily not eating whatever you want, but why not start getting a routine in December, get your exercise sorted, get your connection sorted, have that real focus. Then when you come into January, you're like, oh, I've already done a month of it, so I can just continue it now.
Easier said than done.
It is easier said than done. But no, yeah, there's so many people you can go and listen to, watch about mental health, what the struggles have been, like celebrities, athletes, normal everyday people.
I think some books or podcasts, definitely Lost Connections, Johan Hari's Stolen Focus, again, Johan Hari, Soul for Happy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Mo Gawdat.
Mo Gawdat, that's the one.
You read Brené Brown? Is that mental health? Or not so much.
You know what? It is a good book, Atlas of the Heart, and this is a great way to understand emotions and what you feel. There's something like 48 or 49 of them, or something like that in the book. So yeah, I think it's a good one because then maybe you can understand yourself a little bit better and how you're actually feeling, and then being able to communicate that. Because I know, from experience, when I first started therapy, one of the things I struggled with was naming and explaining how I felt. Because I wasn't used to talking about myself and my feelings.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that she suggested, because then you can learn about feelings and be able to describe them better, which I think makes communicating much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Even it was a bit corny, wasn't it? But The Secret was quite a mental kind of.
That has not to do with mental health.
It is, because you're looking at
using
your mind
to
go towards something, aren't you? And achieving something.
Manifestation. Shout out to my brother.
No, there's so many books and obviously the podcasts that we keep talking about. You've got Modern Wisdom, Diary CEO, if you can cope with the Bartlett's adverts and voice. Imagine if he listens to this. Yo!
You're bashing him now.
No, he's got some great guests on there. Right, I'll give it to him. Unbelievable guests, but yeah, I won't comment any further. High Performance Podcast is great to listen to athletes, business people, their mental struggles. Everyone goes through mental struggles, and it's good to hear the people at the top in the social groups and on TV in the media circle that do actually struggle as well, and what they've done to help themselves as well. But yeah, always help out there, guys. Don't struggle alone. Please speak to people, open up. Don't fear if you just send that message to a friend or you want to meet up for coffee. Whatever it is, just please don't suffer in silence, because it's the worst thing you can do. Obviously, a load of helplines you can go to if you don't want to speak to anyone you know. You want to keep it anonymous. Is that what I said? Anonymous. It's these big words like that. Can't say it.
That's not that big.
Anonymity. Anemone. There you go. Anyway, we're digressing. Thank you very much, everyone, again for listening.
Yes,
I
and
feel
we
like
are
I'm
going to
always
be...
the person saying thank you. You never
Yeah,
say
it
thank
just
you.
flows because it's like thank you, see you soon, and then
Okay.
music. See, it flows.
Okay.
So next week, guys, we are moving on to nutrition. Yeah, how exciting!
Very good. So much to speak about. You could do a whole year on nutrition.
And even more excited, we're going to be bringing in some guests for that one.
We have hit the big time. We've got some guests coming on the podcast. How exciting. You don't just have to listen and look at our lovely faces anymore. No, very excited about that.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Some of our friends that are coming on that are very skilled, experienced in the field of nutrition.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's time to go.
Yeah.
See you soon.
See you soon.